Let's get back at it, man. You know, Jerry, we man, we need your arm again, bro. All right, you know.
How you been? Good.
Come on, y'all, we'll get back at it.
Islam.
Sometimes you gotta something down. It says the Spanish Inquisition. There's a movie coming out. I think it's packed back with a game. And the title Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed is coming out December 21st. So what that movie, the preview showed this. A woman, I can't remember if the brother got kidnapped or however, but they ended up getting over his brother. And he said, well, look, what y'all want from me? He said, your memories. Right? And then they do something to him. They send him back to the 13th century. Because his ancestors were warriors. Fierce warriors, right? So they sent him back into the 13th century. Guess what they said when he opened up his eyes? Welcome to the Spanish Inquisition.
Wow. Welcome.
Go see Assassin's Creed December 21st. What do you, huh? Assassin's Creed.
Was he Asian?
No, he wasn't eating that. He ain't gonna give you that much.
European.
He ain't gonna give you that much. Listen, did you really see
that black
Did you
face?
see the guys in Egypt?
Is that black face? I saw that abomination.
Exactly. So, they're not gonna give it to you. So, let's read this. Spanish Inquisition. Thank you. The Spanish Inquisition, Operations Act, North America, ETC. Index Expurgatorius. That wasn't in there, was it? No, it wasn't in there. Index Prohibitorum and Index Laborum. I'm going to read those definitions. It's actually one definition. Index Laborum Prohibitorum. What it says is a list formally published by church authority for Roman Catholics, restricting or forbidding the reading of certain books, also short to index. Now, let me read it again. A list formally published by church authority. Who is the church authority?
Pope.
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 For Rome, right, bishop, his maintenance. What you say right there, you got the cardinals and the bishops and all the other cats running around. Archbishops. Something was on. Something was on. And no, I'm thinking of two different situations. Somebody said to me, why? That's what happened. Don't forget it. My mind's deep. I was in the truck the other day. I was riding past the Catholic church. And they were digging up, so the church is here. And over there where the island was sitting, it was just a bunch of open yard. So they actually digging that yard up. Now me riding by, I'm just being smart ass can I be. I said, I wonder if they found some more of the baby bones. That's why they were digging that up. Now, I don't know if y'all remember, but like 10 or 12 years ago, at one of the covenants, they found baby bones.
Yeah.
And then they dug them up, and it was a whole lot of baby bones. The nuns was getting pregnant, having the babies, and killing them. And burying them, right? So I'm riding past and I'm making jokes. So the brother that I was talking to said, it ain't cool to molest no children. He said, well, why don't they molest girls instead of boys? Now, the whole concept is sick, but I understand the question, right? Now, why is it that they molest boys instead of girls? No. 5-year-old girl ain't gonna get pregnant. Not powerful, no. Why do they select boys instead of girls?
Because they just weren't born.
All right. Remember earlier we was talking about you got to understand some of this history to get that law, some of that right to get the history. Right? Now, how many of y'all heard of Socrates?
Yeah. So-called poet.
Socrates, right? Socrates has students. Who were they? No. Socrates has students. Who were they? Think about all this Greek stuff that you was talking about. Aristotle and who else?
Plato.
Right. Aristotle and Plato. Now, Plato has a book. I got the book in the house. It's called Plato's Symposium. Please, 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 please. Let me speak. You got me, little homie? Plato's Symposium. In Plato's Symposium, this is what he wrote. Agape love. Now, for those of us who've been to church, we understand that agape love is the highest form of love, and the highest form of love in the Christian church is the love of God. But the Christian church is not Greek. The word is Greek. The word comes from the Greek language, agape love. It means the highest form of love. But in the Greek, in the Plato Symposium, the highest form of love is homosexual love. Right? Now, Plato wrote in his symposium, the highest form of love is homosexual love. When sexual relations with a woman are only spoken of when it comes to procreation, nothing more. Outside of having a baby, they got no use for you. They are the original facts. This ain't me making it up. Y'all know what I'm saying is true. The Greeks and Romans are the original homosexuals. That's what they do. When you go into these buildings, into these churches, and you look up on the ceiling, and you see all the little babies, and they got the wings on their backs. Over here, they got you believing that they're angels. Go to Europe. Go to Europe and see how many of them babies got wings on their backs. Or if it just look like a harem of damn babies. They ain't got no wings on their backs. That's here that they got you believing that their babies is angels. They pedophiles, they perverts, that's what they do. Look at their statue. They all naked. They got penises hanging out. Pizza Gate?
Yeah, that's good.
Hey.
All through Europe.
Listen, that's what they do. Even true with the Jewish rabbis. Y'all see how they killing all them little babies. Killing all them babies. When they circumcise them, and them little babies is bleeding, they get them old rabbi men to suck the blood off these little boys' penises. Now these perverted dudes got all kind of sickness in their mouth, all kind of bacteria, and them little babies is dying. But because it's a religious practice that they do, it's more sick than anything. But that's a religious practice that they have.
That's what the Mormons do?
No, that's what the rabbis do. I ain't gotta see that.
Yeah, well.
Ain't no way else doing that.
Yeah. Japan, they put DNA in, DNA.
So Taj put up here, Index Librorum Prohibitorum, a list formally published by church authority for Roman Catholics, restricting or forbidding the reading of certain books.
Yeah.
We ain't supposed to be talking about the stuff we talk about according to them.
Right.
We ain't even supposed to have this information. It wasn't supposed to be uncovered. It wasn't supposed to be uncovered. I told y'all about a documentary me and my wife watched, and as soon as we watched it, it was gone. It was like we saw a ghost documentary, where they actually took you down into the library and said that that library was, they stretched them books out to be like 50-some miles. That's how many books they got underground of the valley. 50-something miles. Now imagine, let's just say we go outside and we walk 50-something miles. You know how many damn books that is? And that's what they got hidden. They let you know that they took your stuff because they got it up top. They got that Tekken sitting right out front. That they took from Ursa Maratma. So I'm not going to say the obelisk, and I'm not going to say range. I'm going to use the correct names because we're supposed to correct our language, right?
Right, too.
I'm not gonna use it. Imposed in practice by European colonists and their minions, familiars and agent associates, suppression of knowledge, contemporary COINTELPRO operatives, how you got that, John? Lack information. Okay, lack information, suppress information, and hide knowledge. The same thing that we've been talking about this whole time. Now the problem is, they say by European colonists and by their minions, familiars, and agents, associates. The problem is some of their minions, familiars, and agent associates look like me. And that's the problem. How many of y'all know the truth about Martin Luther King's assassination? Who was behind it?
I see Jackson.
Jesse Jackson.
His own people.
Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson. He, huh? Did he have that much pull? It ain't had nothing to do with that much pull. It had to do with how sneaky he was. Now you gotta remember, Jesse was, me and you won't remember, but the eldest will. Jesse used to run around with his dashiki, his pro. Yeah. And then all of a sudden he got a suit. And he got a gun.
Yeah.
And he starts saying up for hope and down with dope. Right? Now, how many of y'all seen the mountaintop speech? Mark King, Abernathy had on ties.
Yeah.
Jesse Jackson, Reverend Billy Collins, did it. Martin King finished speaking. He turned around. Jesse was the first person he seen. He walked right by. Because he was pissed off with it because he said, when you come on stage with me, you dress appropriate. You put on a shirt and tie.
No.
But the thing was this,
That was a
our
target.
friendlies were not wearing ties. Now, go to the next day with Malcolm. At a congressional hearing, Reverend Billy Collins said this. Martin King was taking his time. He was dragging his feet. He was telling Trent, come on, man, we gotta get out of here, man. We got things to do, man. Come on, you know. So I finally got him outside. Got him out on the balcony, we caught up with Abernathy, we caught up with Jesse, and we just standing there talking. Now, congressional hearing. Y'all hear what I said? A congressional hearing. Reverend Billy Collins said, when I came outside, and after a while we was on the balcony, he said, I stepped to the right so they could get a clear shot. And then the shot rang out. I said, whoa.
He said it
I
effortlessly.
played it back. Let me.
He said it effortlessly.
So after about 10 times, I said to my wife, I said, listen to this. I said, what did he just say? I know what he said, but now I got a picture on my phone. I showed it to many of y'all before. That they got hanging up at the museum in Atlanta, Georgia, at the MLK Museum. Show Martin King like this. See how I got that shirt ripped up? How many times I'm just standing around on the banner, just on shooting, you know, if it's me, Keystone, James, and Taj, and we just sit and shoot a crap. Why would I be holding banners for so tight? Keystone's back, James is back, Taj is back. I'm not. I'm fixed.
You waiting.
And I got a look in my face that says, oh shit. Who took that picture at that very moment? Right? Now my man said, I stepped to the right so he can get a clear shot. Then the shot came. But that's not it. They're minions, familiars, and the agent associates. Martin King was protected that weekend by Muslims. Right? Protected by Muslims, right? Now, Jesse Jackson goes downstairs on April 4th, 1968, and he says to the brother, Martin King said, your services are not needed no more. Right? So he said, all right, cool, no problem. We out. Now, the brother said after he heard about the assassination, he thought about it like, wait a minute.
Right.
Everyone was already paid for. It was after 4 o'clock.
Right. Who was that? Yeah.
It was after 4 o'clock. Now, if you look at the picture that I got, you see somebody peeking out the window. They said it was housekeeping, right? Where they do housekeeping that late in hotels?
No. Yeah.
They don't.
Housekeeping.
Right? Now, the thing is this. Let's just say I'm just new to Moorish nationality, right? I'm new to nationality. I'm new to the science and everything, right? And I just happen to be in my hotel room. And then out front of my hotel room on the balcony is Taj Tariq Bey Abdullah doing speed motion, baby, and Rosman right there. Now I'm new to this science, and the three of them are standing outside. What y'all think I'm gonna do?
Try to listen to them.
Try to listen to him, shit. Josh, what's happening, man? Hey, oh, he is real. God damn. You think I'll be peeking out the window? Yeah. See, you gotta be able to see. If you can't see, you ain't gonna learn. Don't see. You learn by listening, right? But you learn by seeing too. Deaf people they can't hear, but they can learn. They see, they watch people, they read lips. You think you can't do all that same stuff? Remember we was talking about them degrees? They got a degree you don't have. You got a degree they don't have. But you can still communicate. We got our own people, man. That was Jesse Jackson, knee deep in MLK's assassination.
Yep.
Knee deep. Now, you was gonna say something?
I actually went to where Martin Luther King got killed at because I lived in Memphis. Yeah, they actually have it set up as a National Civil Rights Museum now.
Yeah.
And they tell you all kinds of nonsense, but like across the street where the bullet came from, where the shot came from.
I don't think, you might have to come up here, we can't hear you. Like that. You can't have me now. He's already on the camera, we should read him. I was gonna like to be in the front.
Like 3 years ago, I lived in Memphis, and I took a tour of the National Civil Rights Museum. That's where Martin Luther King got killed at. They still have on the floor, well, on the ground, a spot of concrete that actually has blood on it. They got it so you can't actually walk into the room. But like they tell you a whole lot of nonsense. Like the story that said Rob was, well, the fact that said Rob brought forward. They don't tell you that on the tour, you feel what I'm saying?
Right.
But you can go, you can look like right across the street where the shot came from. They got the gun in there. The window is still perched open, like where you can see where he took the shot. So I found that interesting that you brought that up.
Thank you, brother. Now the thing is this, how many of y'all knew that he had a shot to his cheek too? Pistol shot. Do some research. Pistol shot. Say that again? Somebody was close. Somebody was close. So it's what our own people do. I got a video in the house and talk about Bill Hodges' assassination. The brother that amassed the weapons. They rented and reserved the Audubon ballroom for 30 days prior to being assassinated. 30 days. It wasn't intended on getting caught. It wasn't, listen, they had that thing backed out. They asked the brother, how do you feel now? He said, it hurts. He said, because we betrayed our brother. But at the time, we thought that he betrayed our property. And when you believe in somebody, when you love somebody so much, you're willing to do anything to take care and make sure that that person's safe. So they assassinated him. They assassinated our own brothers. Now, was it some infiltration, COINTELPRO? Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Was it some finance? Of course. Listen, if y'all don't know, y'all already know how I feel about Elijah Muhammad.
Yeah.
He taught, yeah. But you telling me that man was about to bring together hundreds of thousands of niggas? Because that's what you want, niggas. Clean them up, straighten them up, get them off the street, get them speaking properly, put them in suits. And the European ain't have a problem with that? Well, we talking about 1950s and 60s. We ain't talking that. We talking when they were still lynching cats. We talking about, come on. Come on, man. Listen, I ain't trying to start no war. I ain't trying to, I'm just being honest like I do. That COINTELPRO never stopped. The man left by, listen, some beautiful people came out of it. Some beautiful people came out of it. Beautiful people came out of that. But you already know if you do your research, that he came from one probably know what he was going to do. It was Elijah through Bey.
Yeah. I got a picture of him with the fez. He fed with it before you did that.
Same reason Daddy Rich did it, same reason Father Devon, all the rest of them went way in.
Find that.
That building right down on Road to Paramount, right now, being rehabbed.
You buy the rain tell.
Father Ray Hotel. Father Devon bought that building with 400,000 notes, cash.
Back in the 30s, 40s.
He didn't get no loan. It wasn't no contingencies. He bought it. Talking back then. That's like buying it for $10 million now. Cash. So don't think I'm just picking on Elijah Muhammad. I just spoke of Elijah Muhammad because of Bill House. Same thing that Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, and the rest of them. Listen, as soon as you turn your back, they're gonna put a shank in it. Al Sharpton show up for every protest every month. I just heard him say yesterday that he organized another march in D.C.
Yeah.
Al Sharpton. He organized another march in D.C. So for people who want to help join the show, all right, march for what?
Civil rights.
Civil rights.
Yeah, that's what it's.
We still fighting for that?
Yeah, he's still rumbling for that.
Al Sharpton was still fighting for that in the 60s.
Yeah.
But he was still fat.
Yeah.
He had a problem with that.
Right?
They got a problem.
I think he had the deep jogging suit.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we still fighting for civil rights.
And he had the Jerry curl too.
Now, think things like this. If it's me,
No, it permed. Yeah, permed.
you got try.
Yes,
If it's me, settle down. Settle down, baby. Let's keep it rolling. We ain't lay with that shit. Lay with that shit. If it's me, and I've been fighting for a thing for 40 years, I gotta find another way.
Right. That way.
Because obviously the way that I'm going in 40 years,
Ain't happening.
right? Now, I started watching, I never seen The Million Man. I never seen it. I started watching it 2 weeks ago. That was the first time I got to see it. And Farrakhan dropped a lot of gems. But he left some stuff out.
A whole lot of stuff.
Because they know who we are. They know who we are. He said in that speech, they said that he be playing on people's emotions. Most people who stand in front of you gonna play on your emotions. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Whether they're giving you a bunch of fact shit, don't look at who you looking at her, she playing on your emotions. Oh. Y'all know each other? Good. Y'all like each other something? Yeah, I know. I was 14 too.
Yeah, we did one.
I was 14 too anyway. And he said that he said he don't like this life. Leave y'all alone, though. God was that.
You talking about people playing on your emotions?
On your emotions.
People playing on your emotions. Don't think that when people get in front of you and talk to you that they're not going to play on your emotions. They can be a positive play or it can be a negative. Right? Because the thing is this. We spoke about emotions in here before. You can control your emotion. Right? But your emotion can be touched by a lot of stuff. Right? If I say, listen, bro, appreciate the fact that you came and I love you, and I can't wait to see you next time. That will bring about a good emotion. Right? Now, if I come over here and I say, listen, bro, I shake your hand. Why you here? Totally different emotion. And he laughed because he know I'm joking. But if I actually walk over here with a serious look or something, I'm not shaking your hand. Totally different emotion. Right? You can control your emotion, but if I'm not intentionally trying to play on your emotions, but I already know some of the stuff that's going to be said, some of the stuff that's going to be read is going to play on your emotions. That's not what I'm set out for. But I'm saying that regardless of what I say or do, it's going to happen. So don't ever think that it's something different. So Farrakhan play on people's emotions? Yeah. Me? Yeah. Taj, yeah, it's not intentional. If you believe a thing, you speak on a thing. And when you believe a thing, you speak on it with a passion, and you speak on it with a fire. And that fire brings about emotion. It brings emotion out of me, which brings emotion out of you. It was a good speech. I'm just saying he left some things out. I'm gonna go back to this list so we can push on again and wrap it up in a little bit. Capital stock is the sum of money or stock which a merchant, banker, or manufacturer employs in his business, either original stock or stock augmented. I highlighted the word stock, or I put it in red, because even though these definitions are not necessarily pertaining to people, they pertain to people. When you know what you know, you are the stock. You are the shadow property. See, now when you think of stock, you think of Wall Street. You think of livestock, you think of cattle. You think of horses, you think of sheep, you think of goats. Do the same thing. Listen, you ever see, there was a dude, I can't remember his actual name, but they called him Deadwood Dick. Asiatic brother. He said he was the baddest cow. You know what I'm saying? This dude ain't never lost a cow, herding cows. Right? How can you take one man and have one man herd 1,000 cows by himself and not lose one? Then you think about the corporation you work for. See, earlier we started off by talking about R.B. Bey and Taj Tariq Bey being attacked by other Moors, saying that they get people locked up, they get people killed, and then we talk about discernment, then we talk about judgment. It's up to you. It's up to you. Now, the thing is this, if I am not told by a brother named Basil, outside of a strip club at 4:30 in the morning, about a man named Taj Tariq Bey, I don't go looking for Taj Tariq Bey. Not at that particular time. So if I don't go look for Taj Tariq Bey, and I don't find him, and I don't find Abdullah, and I don't find Ross, y'all don't find me. Now, what I learned from him, from Abdullah, from everybody else, I had to sit there and discern, judgment, and figure out if what they're saying is right. If what they're saying is for me. Because all my life I was told my salvation was somewhere else. But in reality, my salvation is within me. Right? I gotta bring out all of this. Just like all of your salvation is within you. It wasn't in some book. If I don't learn the way I learned from heaven, from Abdullah, from Raz, from nature, from Cujo, from y'all, I can't read this stuff. I can't read the definition of capitalism, the definition of capitalist, and what capital stock is, and understand what it is. They're talking about me.
That's right.
They're talking about me. Now, stop. A noun, Saxon, from the Saxon language. A person very stupid, dull, and senseless. I ain't think that. It's right in front of me. Where I get it from? 1828 Old Webster's Dictionary of the English language. A person very stupid, dull, and senseless. Stop. It should bother you. You know, mad is an emotion, right? But channel that emotion, right? When you get mad, channel it. Don't react. I was real reactionary when I was react fast. Oh, hey, man, hate crack, man, crack. And then I learned to be just as mad as some of y'all as I am at that.
Right.
And then he said, man, we talking about it. To be mad at some of y'all just as I am at them. Human trafficking the illegal movement of people, typically for purposes of forced labor, commercial sexual exploitation. That's what all of that pertains to. Human trafficking, which is an international war crime. That's an international war crime. Y'all know about Nuremberg trial?
Yeah.
How many people have never heard of the Nuremberg trial? After World War II, after Nazi Germany was defeated, and after the smoke had cleared, they went to put on trial all these members from the Nazi Party and everybody who was in cahoots with them, except for the people that was on this side. Ain't none of them get put down. Y'all don't know that that was funded by this party. Y'all ain't been doing y'all homework. Nazi Germany, not Rothschild, Rockefeller. Y'all don't know that Nazi Germany was, listen, they telling me that they was rounding people up, the way they was rounding people up and doing what they was doing, ain't nobody know. Now there were parts of Germany where they were totally oblivious to it because it was so far away. Right? Berlin, Germany's a big nation. Berlin is all the way up top. So if you're all the way down somewhere, let's just say Darmstadt, Germany, in the middle of Germany, you don't know what's going on in Berlin. They're so far away from Auschwitz, Poland, you don't know about these concentration camps and these others. But that was funded by these cats over here.
Yeah. Yep. Morgan.
Was she here?
Human trafficking. The Nuremberg trials put a lot of people to death and a lot of people in prison because of international war crimes. Just Google it, Nuremberg trial. N-U, no, it's not on the paper. N-U-R-E-M-B-U-R-G, Nuremberg. Margaret Sanger. Why you bring up that old fact? Is she still alive? No. She's out of 10 years. Listen, so we talk about Margaret Sanger right quickly and we move on. Margaret Sanger was the mother of Planned Parenthood. But Margaret Sanger was not, she was a part of what was called the American and European Eugenics Society. And what eugenics is what they call scientific racism, right? The scientific way of eliminating undesirables. I told you before, she wrote a book. Her autobiography is called The Pivot. You got my book, don't you? Margaret Sanger, The Pivot of Civilization. I let my sister hold that book a few years ago, y'all. I haven't seen it since. The Pivot of Civilization. She got my book. She can put you on the jump. My sister got it. She wrote a book called The Pivot of Civilization, where she called you the worthless evils and undesirables, and said that you ain't have no place on the planet. Now, she wasn't wealthy. She didn't have a substantial amount of finance, but she came across somebody in the eugenics movement who had plenty of finance. And that was Dr. Clarence Gamble. And Dr. Clarence Gamble is the father of the Procter and Gamble dynasty. So probably some of the detergent you got in your house, some of the toilet paper, some of the toothpaste is Procter and Gamble. So here you are funding your own genocide and you didn't even know. This is why it's important to get this information and study and read. Now, what they did was they come together and they said, we got to figure out a way to kill these niggas off. They gonna call it the Negro Project. Negro Project said, we gonna go out and we gonna go these Negro preachers.
Okay.
Out on that.
Okay.
Even though it wasn't the FBI, it's still COINTELPRO.
Yeah. Yep.
They went to the people who they knew the community would listen to, fed them finance, and they fed us poison.
Right.
She should come to bed.
Okay,
Father.
this works out fine. The next paragraph starts off saying the New Deal. Y'all see that?
Yep.
The New Deal was a series of programs, including, most notably, Social Security, that were enacted by the United States between 1933 and 1938, and a few that came later. They included both laws passed by Congress as well as presidential executive orders during the first term, which was 1933 to 1937, of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. The programs were in response to the Great Depression and focused on what historians refer to as the three R's: relief, recovery, and reform. Relief for the unemployed and poor, recovery of the economy to normal levels, and reform on the financial system to prevent a repeat depression. Now, in that paragraph, what y'all see? Somebody talk to me.
Programs.
All right, so you already know if I change the color of something, you're supposed to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
I done said it 11 times. If I change the color of a word, you're supposed to pay attention to it. Why did I turn laws red? Quote unquote, because it's negative law. It's not actual law. Right? Why did I put Congress in red? Congress is exactly. Why did I put presidential executive orders in red?
They're feudal order.
It is because of that. But you got to see, this is where the study comes in. When you go back into the Constitution, the president has a specific job. And it's not executive anything. Listen. Those presidential executive orders is legislation. Right? But the president is not in the legislative part of the Constitution. Who is?
Congress.
So why the hell is he making presidential executive orders?
Stepping into authority.
See, this you gotta be able to see, y'all. You gotta be able to see. When you read it, you gotta see. These words gotta come to life. These words gotta come to life. The New Deal was a series of programs including most notably Social Security. Then you go down a little further and it says the three R's in relief. So y'all see that I changed the color relief, right? Why? Let me tell you. Let me tell you. It says relief for the unemployed and poor. What is relief? Speak up. Welfare. They changed the damn name. It's called welfare. Now, let's go back to Margaret Sanger and her rock. Planned Parenthood. Right? And don't be confused because them Albion women was getting more abortions than you were.
Oh yeah. That's where
Because
it
they
came
couldn't
from.
leave us alone.
That's where it came from. Yeah. Oh yeah.
They couldn't leave us alone. They was getting knocked up. They was like, oh, dude.
Yeah.
Y'all seen Life with Eddie Murphy and Martin? Remember that girl had that baby?
Yeah. I'm the bad crazy face up
I'm
there.
the
Yeah.
bad, right?
Yeah.
Now, here you go. The purpose of Planned Parenthood is this, was to sterilize our women, right? So not only was it abortions, but it was feminine health, right? It was going in there for checkups, treatments, and all of this other type of stuff, right? So now, let's just say Keystone is my father, and everybody sitting at the table is our sisters, right? Keystone can't work. My father can't work, so my father's getting relief to take care of me and to take care of my three sisters. Now, little sister right there, it's time for her to get a checkup. She got to go get a physical exam. So she going on with Planned Parenthood because we can't afford it. And they doing it. They taking care of us over there, right? So then they come back to Pop and say, listen, hey, Keystone, I need you to let me sterilize that girl. What Keystone gonna say? No. Say it again, Keystone, because they got you mixed up. Oh, State Rock said, get the hell out of here. Y'all got Keystone mixed up. He ain't letting him sterilize his baby. Right? So now here I come, and I say, well, check this out, bro. That relief you get?
Cut that off. Don't kill that.
So now the daughter gets sterilized. Because he ain't got no choice. He got to take care of the family. He can't work, his legs are busted. He needs that relief. You see what they did?
At the womb, start at the womb.
You see these people that's floating around in history that affected so much. The Negro Project. See, listen. Don't be so mad at Margaret Sanger. Don't be so mad at Dr. Clarence Gamble. Be mad at the damn preachers.
Right.
They took the fine. The tape recorder. What?
What do you want me to do?
Tape recorder. Oh yeah. Oh, I didn't I ain't gonna know what was running around repeating what I was saying. That's good. In 20 years, he gonna be on. I apologize. Hey, listen. Y'all remember when you was in school? There was two people that wasn't supposed to be sitting together, so the teacher separated them. These two over here. I'm trying to tell you. Right. Listen, don't be so mad at Marcus Sanger and Clarence Gamble. They had the idea, but they needed assistance to put it through. Ted Turner, y'all know Ted Turner?
Right.
Ted Turner is also a part of the Genesis Society. Ted Turner owns a bunch of TV stations and stuff like that. TNT, Turner Network, all that stuff. Ted Turner pledged 1 billion notes to a project, and the project, what it was called, something called Quiner.
What was it called?
Quiner. I can't quite remember how to spell it. Quiner. Wait for the car across the floor, it was mouse. I said, I ain't seen no mice in there ever. Quiner. So, you know, if we had to try to spell it out, I would say Quinnicri, Quiner, something like that. But what Quinnicri is this. It was supposed to be a form of birth control, right? It was a small tablet that can be inserted vaginally by a female herself. And more times than not, what Quinnicri did was got her to be in perfect every
Years up. Yeah.
right? Quiner. I don't even know what quinine is. But, huh? You're perfect. Good. I wouldn't doubt it. Causing all types of vaginal cancer and things of that nature. I wouldn't doubt it. But you gotta figure, your body's trying to put that out. And you put something in there to keep it in there.
Go against nature.
That don't make sense.
Go against nature.
Right? So, you know, you listen, you just got,
Brain. Think.
probably said, if I can only get you to think.
Yeah. That's the battle.
You know what I'm saying? You could say to yourself, all you gotta do is think. We don't want to think. We don't want to think. Thinking is listen, it's not different. When I read a paragraph like this, and I know about Social Security, and I know about all that other stuff, let's look at the next paragraph. Many historians distinguish between the first New Deal, 1933 and 34, and the second New Deal, 1935 to 1938. With the second one more liberal and controversial. The first New Deal, 33 to 34, dealt with the pressing bank crisis with the Emergency Banking Act and the 1933 Banking Act. I was in the court.
Come on, y'all.
You say she just in front.
Yeah, right. Right? I was just friends, right? Right? Now, you see I put on there, continue reading on your own. And the reason I put that is because of this. You need to know about the Emergency Banking Act. And it would be easy for me to stand here and tell you about it, but I don't want to.
Federal Reserve.
Put my little in the corner too. One of these days, I'm walk somebody to the corner. I know I keep saying it, but anyway. And tonight, listen, y'all, listen. You gotta know about this. You gotta know about what happened with the silver and the gold, and then when you find out what Kennedy did, closing down the Federal Reserve, start making sense.
Didn't he have
Wasn't that
some silver
exactly
already
what
in
11
circulation?
something?
It was,
But he had, didn't he already have?
11110.
Okay.
11110.
Didn't he
That
have
was,
silver in circulation already?
That's what that did. That's what that executive order did. they closed down the Federal Reserve and they took all of the fiat out of circulation. You put, I forget, like 3 billion silver certificates back in circulation. And that's a problem.
It's a problem.
When you mess with a scratch,
Oh, yeah, that's it.
it's curved.
Okay.
And you see what they did to them.
Yep. Anybody else?
You see what they did to them. Now listen,
Yeah, but how we supposed to protect ourselves from that crap?
how you protect yourself from what?
From that same type of, same type of ordeal or system?
Assassination, or you talk about
The
the
fact
Federal
that,
Reserve?
no, I'm talking about the fact that when we start looking into our nationality, and all these other things started happening around us, as far as like, dealing with the business cities that are basically committing genocide on us, how do we do it in a manner without, bringing unnecessary attention to ourselves?
I'm trying to really give you some, how do we do what?
So in other words, how we don't end up there.
How we don't end up dead?
Right, and then how do we move through the system, in other words, remove ourselves from the system the proper way in order, like once we have our nationality, like I've already claimed mine and did my name correction and everything, but at the same time, even with doing that, still,
They still got their foot on your neck.
right.
You know why? Because of all the sellout cats, like the cats we talked about in the beginning of this class. Now, if people do what the prophet said and study, and then build upon the foundation that he left, we don't have to go through this, right? It should be a time when you, me, James, and every brother in there, and we could actually get up, put our vessels on and go downtown and sit down and talk to these guys.
Right.
And put things in place and put things in order, back lawfully.
Right.
But you know why we can't? Because we can't get along. The problem is us. The problem ain't the corporations. The problem is us. When you want, listen, you want to find your enemy, look in the mirror.
Right.
Right? The problem is us. Now, I say it all the time. This constitutes a state. Right? Let's just say we use Taj's name, Moore's Order of the Round Table. And we go down there, and we want to sit and talk with the district attorney. Taj Tariq Bey is not going anywhere. Moore's Order of the Round Table. Right? And they know who that is. They respect that. Right now, they don't respect us. You know why? Because they see what we're doing. We bickering, we fighting. I'm going in there saying one thing, she's going to say the next thing. When the police attempted to take my brother to school here, and we fought them down. When he got them citations and he went into that tribunal, the assistant district attorney said, listen, we don't got a problem with y'all. Our problem is that y'all not uniform. Tell your sheep to call me. I never called him because it wasn't time yet.
Right.
But I still got his card.
So like I got stopped on my way here for arrested by Philly mercenary, basically saying that I was speeding. I told him I'm not speeding, I'm traveling. But at the same time, I gave him my three identification cards on National Road Travel, Moorish National. Yeah, and so he's gonna ask me to ride on the car or what have you. It's in the Ennis Legacy name. And so I told him like, yes, I do. But at the same time, I didn't give him no license or anything of that nature, no registration.
Did you pull off?
Did I pull off? Nope, I should have though.
Where's your vehicle?
Pardon me?
Where's your vehicle?
It's parked outside.
Well, that's what I mean. Did you pull off? You drove away, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
But he said he's gonna send me something in the middle.
well, then
Wait for it.
Now, he says that you deal with it, but now, the thing is this, because you just answered your own question,
Yeah.
right? You asked me, what are we supposed to do? Well, I mean, you just did.
You stand on your square.
You stood on your square. You made it known, this is who I am. I ain't got nothing else to show you, this is it. So that's why I said, all right, cool. See, you know how they say an animal can smell fear?
Yeah.
I can smell it too.
Right.
I can look right in their eyes. I remember I asked a long time ago, I said to the men, I said, how many cowards in there? All the cowards, raise your hand. Ain't nobody want to raise their hand, right? But you don't gotta raise your hand. All I gotta do is look around the room. First one of you ought to look away when I look at you. I know you ain't coming with me. Right? I can see it. They can see it. You displayed what you needed to display. You drove away.
You took care of your business.
The same question that you just asked, you just answered.
pass that on to the young gentleman. That's the team.
Another thing that I thought was really
Sure.
to say, it's like, when I just became conscious, you know, who I am, whatever, I was so scared that one night I drove over a CVS, you know, the sidewalk? Because, listen, because I was like, I'm Aboriginal, you know? They can't talk to me, like, who's governed by me, and, you know, ego starts to, but then, like you said, that forward part was like, you better shut up, what did they want to say to them? They do something
Now, see?
on my mother's city?
No, it's not cow. That wasn't cow. That wasn't cow. That was you using your head.
Yeah,
Right, say, oh, you know what, let me slow down.
yeah,
The coward is the one who tucked his tail between his legs and goes that way. The coward is the men who stayed in this room. The day Taj was down the street, and they called me and they said, Taj said, come down the street, call the sheriff. And I said, all the men come to me. The cowards are the ones who stay here.
well, I said that to say, like, ever since that night, like, I go up there, I try to do a lot of this, you know, whatever. And he said to me one day, if you don't talk about the devil, he seems to exist. And then I started practicing that where it's kind of like you don't radiate on that vibration anyway, they kind of sort of leave you alone. I go about my business and I just say, I put spells on myself, my ego's invincible. They can't see, and I just don't give them that energy, and they stay out of my way.
Listen, y'all know, so many, any of y'all ever see, y'all pay attention to the way stations? Where tractor trip, when you ride down the road, you say way stations open and all the trucks in there. So when they pull us in there, if you get pulled in, then they want to do a full inspection of your truck. It's either level 1, level 2, or level 3 inspection. So what happens is you ride through. Depending on where you go, it's either a light that says come this way, or proceed to Interstate 95, or proceed to Interstate whatever, right? Listen, I have not gotten inspected in going on 4.5 years. I just, listen, man, I ain't got time. I ride past the way station now. Lights flashing, I ride right on past. Listen,
Like right now, I go through the easy pass and I don't have the easy pass.
it's an easy pass. Easy pass in the mail. Listen.
See, look, like today on my way up, right? When I went through the easy pass, I went behind a truck. So my automobile sits low. And the thing said paid. So I kept rolling.
Let me explain something to you. Let me explain to y'all how Easy Pass works.
And at one point when I was rolling,
Hold on. We talking about capitalism now, right? An economic and political system in which a country's trade and industry. Easy Pass is an industry. See, because they're not, reading the Constitution, you ain't supposed to pay a tax to go from one state to the next.
Right.
Read it. Yeah, that's excise tax. That's ex post facto. Right? Now, let me tell you how Easy Pass works. When you go through the Easy Pass, right, you see cameras in front of you, right? Because they got cars that got a state license plate on the front, right? But what you don't see is the cameras that's behind you, because they're behind you when you ride past. Right, so even though you went behind the truck and it said paid, they took a picture of your plate, you'll get it back. That's how they operate. Just, I'm not here to dispute none of that. Not necessarily, because necessarily they're gonna send a letter in the mail. I'm not here to dispute that. I'm just telling you what they do. They want to send a letter, so but when it comes, just be able to deal with it. It's capitalism.
What about you though? Where you from?
They can, but they don't. You know why? Because I'm the same way the sister said. I'm not getting no goddamn inspection. Go find something else to do. All right. I'm not getting no inspection. It's simple. And because in my mind, in my vibration, and in me. Find something else to do. And I'm telling you, I literally right past the waist. I do it all the time. And before you see 3-4 state police sitting in there, and I just drive right on past. I'll go over there and I'll keep it moving. No, that's not Easy Pass. You actually have to pull off the highway and go in there. What I'm saying is I'm not pulling off the highway going in. I'm riding past. I had not been inspected for 4.5 years. I ain't got time for it. Listen, I got better things to do with that hour a month. They're gonna take an hour to inspect your truck, and then they're gonna take another 35, 40 minutes to print the paper. Who got time for that? Let's get back to the subject matter. You see on there, it says war. A person, especially an infant, placed by authority of law under the care of a guardian. That's from the Black's Law Court Edition. Then you see warship, the military tenures, the right of the Lord to have custody as a guardian of the body and of the lands of the infant heir, without any account of profits, until he was 21 or she 16. Infants. In civil law, a child under the age of 7. Infant. A person within age, not of age, or not of full age. A person under the age of 21, a minor. And then you see minor. An infant or a person who is under the age of legal competence. You see where I got these definitions. The next one, write down please. The next one says parents, patriarch. That means the father of his country, parent of the country. In England, that would be the king. In the United States, the state as a sovereign, referring to the sovereign power of guardianship over persons under disability. Then you see custody. The care and keeping of anything. Guardian. A guardian is lawfully invested with the power and charged with the duty of taking care of the person and managing the property rights of another person who, for some peculiarity of status or defective age, understanding, or self-control, is considered incapable of administering his own affairs. Spell that wrong, right? Person. A man considered, according to the rank he holds in society, status, with all the rights of which the place he holds entitles him, and the duties which it imposes. The term may include artificial beings as corporations, quasi-corporations, territorial corporations, etc. Status, standing state or condition. It also means a state because it signifies the condition or circumstances in which one stands with regards to his property. Now let's back up. I read all of that because you needed to hear all of that, so when we go back to the beginning, into this definition of war, you understand what I'm getting. Now, person. A man considered according to the rank he holds in society. Right? What's the rank most people hold in society? That's the word I was looking for. Civil little more twos. The rank you hold in society is dead in view of the eyes of the Lord. See, because you have not declared and put on the record your proper status, your correct status. So you're still in that warship tenure. All of these words go together. That's why I put them there. All of these words go together. Excuse me. The rank you hold in society is nothing. Nothing. That's why they do what they want to. Now, what's your name, bro? Omar. Now, your rank in society is now different. And you just got that proved. Because if you didn't have them ID cards in your pocket and you didn't have a driver's license, no one's going to take it.
He tried to take my international road travel card. I said, no, he's not taking that. Not taking it.
See, people might think he was lucky. Right? But we left out of here and we went up the street. And there was 8 police when I got up there. Half of them were sitting in their cars. We came strolling up like we was this far, right? Strolling up the street, you know what I'm saying?
They couldn't believe it.
No, they couldn't believe it. They didn't even get out the cars. Some people ain't get to see that because they was cowards. Y'all can see I feel some type of way about it.
Right.
But the rules not legally. Yeah, right. Right.
Become quite obvious.
Yeah. Yeah. You know why? You know why? Because I wanted it.
It's real.
Because I want them to understand.
It's real.
Right? Now, and the reason being is this. Is because if you're a coward, be a coward.
Right.
Right? But don't go crying when you need something.
Right.
And then you beg it, then right? One hand wash the other.
That's right.
You listen. All right, look. Jocko in here. Y'all know how you Jocko is. You know what I'm saying? Listen. If I say we gonna jump Jocko, You don't really want to jump. When I hit Jocko, and Jocko falls, just throw a rock at him. Do something.
Right.
If you ain't got enough courage to help me take it down, then when he go down, throw a rock at him. Something. Call him a jump, do something. Right? Because when Jocko jump on you, don't go calling me. Hey, stop rock. Nah, bro. No. Yeah, I feel some type of way about it.
Right.
Because then I can't trust you. Right? They got babies and women in there.
Right.
If somebody came through that door right now, I'm at it. It's just like I told you earlier, when I seen that picture of that European dragging that mother by her legs, I got it. You drag her too.
You died before I would, for sure.
Oh yeah, he gonna die before me, no doubt. But ain't no way I'm gonna watch a European drag her sister down the street by her legs.
Right.
You crazy? No, it's a picture, I'll show you. Yeah, I had a screenshot. Because sometimes I need that. Because that gives me the fire that I need to stay in here and do what I do. Right? What's the problem?
I think they need to go.
These two, listen,
Put them in the corner.
those two ain't supposed to be sitting together.
No.
They supposed to be in the corner. Now,
Yeah.
I didn't hear what they were saying, but let me tell y'all what just happened right here. This one in the red started talking about my nose flaring up and me getting an attitude and wanting to fight, right? And then the one in the black started laughing, and then they just started cutting up, and that's what happened with them.
Got him.
That's what happened. That's what they always do. You know, flare up and get mad. You always want to fight. You always got your fist balled up. So what? So what?
Pray about that. That's real.
Them two ain't supposed to be sitting.
They need to stand in the corner.
Let's get back to it.
They need to go stand in the
You don't
corner.
got to sit in the corner. You just sit over here. You sit over there.
They got assigned
We
seats.
will not be divided.
They got assigned seats.
And see, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Now these two sisters got more courage than them cats that wouldn't come out. I ain't gonna say, listen, I'm proud. That's it. Okay. I ain't gonna bring it up. Huh? Who said that? No problem. I won't bring it up more today. All right, let's get back to word reward. A person, especially an infant, then we gotta go there, we stop right there. Especially an infant, if we go down to infant and we read what that is. A person within age, not an age or a full age. A person under the age of 21, a minor. And then you go to minor and you see minor says an infant or a person who is under the age of legal competency. Right? Now, minor is the root word of minority.
Right.
So after you read minor, you should automatically go read minority. Right? And then you realize what you've been calling yourself all these years.
Right.
We the minority. How?
Yeah.
We the majority of the thing.
Yeah.
What you calling yourself? Listen,
It's in the language.
when they say stupid stuff, like African Americans make up 5% of the population of the U.S. or 45% of the prison population.
Crazy.
Hold it.
Yeah, that don't make sense.
I'm using their terms. Hold it. 5% of the population. Who else is here then?
Right.
Right? Because I know that we all Asiatics. When it comes to us, the Mexicans, the Dominicans, the Puerto Ricans, come on, man. Right? I know we up now. Now here we go. Now check this out. When you think about the King Alfred plan and how they so methodically planned out for an 8-hour project, right? In 8 hours, they're going to round you up and they're going to detain you and begin to eliminate you. Right? Now, here we go. Y'all ever see all the regions where they're going to collect you from? The Northeast region, the Mid-Atlantic region, the South region, the Deep South region 1, the Deep South region 2. That's already a lot of people just on the East Coast.
Right.
What's Deep South region 1 and Deep South region 2? What the hell is that? Now, you might not be in abundance in Oklahoma, in North Dakota, in South Dakota,
Right.
Kansas.
Still got formidable numbers out there still.
Right? Yeah. And they actually believe in you 5% or something.
5%, yeah.
5%. If we right here in Philly, 5%.
Got more than that too.
You understand? So you busy calling yourself a minority, not realizing that it's got legal ramifications.
Right.
You think, no, we minorities. No. Listen. Of legal, under the age of legal competence. They saying that you can't legally comprehend, and you can't legally attend to your affairs.
Right.
So then you go to that next page and you see the definition that says parent patriarch. In the United States, the state as a sovereign referring to the sovereign power of guardianship over persons under disability. Now, we talked about that before. Disability. I'm not talking about a wheelchair. I'm not talking about crutches.
Right.
I'm not talking about missing an arm. That's not the disability that we talking about. We talking about the disability of
Mental
men.
disability.
Right. When you go get on welfare, you just told them that you can't take care of yourself. You got a disability. So parent patriarch. Now I'm your daddy, de facto your dad. Because you need me to take care of you, so I'm gonna go ahead and give you this little access card. You go ahead and get you some food. Right? All of this different stuff. But they get to just pull you in. Just suck you in.
It doesn't say they're not the people that are just know how to read their contracts.
Now, I'll tell you what HLB told me. And I'll take it for what it's worth. HLB told me flat out, learn how to contract.
Right.
Taj Tariq Bey has told me time and time again, do not forget that you are under occupation.
Right.
Do not forget that you are under occupation. Ever since he's told it to me, I told it to him. Do not forget. Yeah, what they're doing is wrong yet. Can we beat them? You know how?
Yeah, we can be.
I didn't say we could. I didn't say we could.
No, you didn't.
I just shrugged my shoulders.
I said we can.
There's no doubt.
How do small countries beat big countries?
By learning.
No, speak up.
Allies.
Allies.
Allies. Unified.
Allies. Listen, y'all see last weekend Fidel Castro transition, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Y'all know how big Cuba is? Well, you know how big Cuba is. Y'all know how big Cuba is? It's small. It's an island
But this way
in the
they
middle of the
did it.
Atlantic, right?
We located it.
How you telling me that this big bad United States couldn't go to little teeny Cuba and dispose of this dude?
Now.
1950?
They tried it with the Bay of the Pigs, and it failed terribly.
Well, why? Because they hit him. Who was his ally? Russia.
Russia.
Mikhail Gorbachev. Look here, bro. I need some help. Russia. The big bad United States didn't want that Cold War.
Right.
They ain't want it with Russia.
There was no hot boy.
They ain't want no hot boys, right? Right? Allies. You know why we don't have no allies?
Because you go around destroying everything.
Listen, we can't have what we spoke about earlier and think we won't get allies.
Yeah.
Because they go, come on, listen, all right, let's be for real. If these three women are sisters, right? And they come to me and say, look, we need some help. But they fight amongst each other.
Y'all got that.
Listen, I ain't listening. Y'all get y'all stuff together.
Didn't come out.
So that's why we come here. So we share this, right? And then we relate it to the next one. Listen, man, listen. Master teacher and Felicia Jewelry Maz spoke about something called operational unity. I told you all about it before. I got 10 things that's important to me. Keystone got 10 things that's important to him. Who got 10 things that's important to him. Out of those 10, we all got 7 in common. Now, when the three of us, because I'm Christian, and he's Islamic, and he's Buddhist, But we got 7 problems that's the same. When we come through that door and we sit in this your house at this round table, there ain't no Buddhism. There ain't no Islamic religion. It ain't no Christian religion. It's the 7 problems we got to work on. Operational unity. We work on the 7 problems. We get this thing together. When you leave, you do all you want. It's not important to me what your faith is. It's not important to me what your faith is. What's important to me is them babies back there playing. Worship how you want to worship. Who cares? And see, our people can't get that through their heads. They busy saying, I believe like this. I don't care what you believe. I only care what you want to do. Believe how you want to believe. Because it don't, at the end of the day, it don't matter. You the one got to go home with those beliefs, not me. So when we sit down, let's sit down as men and let's make it happen. Listen. Take an Irishman and take a British, or whatever they call themselves, right? They don't particularly like each other. They ought to say, I know that. But the British feel like they're better than the Irish. Right? They feel like the Irish is beneath them, right? Like scum under their feet, right? Now, they can't get along. They'll war against each other. You see the movies, but you bring that, get in, and they going back and forth, right? But when they came to them dealing with the niggas, it was solidarity. That's a common problem. And they dealt with it together. And then as soon as the nigga was gone, go ahead, Bob. Go ahead again. Talk about emotional. I'm sitting here like tearing up, right? Not angry. Just.
Dissatisfied.
I'm not sad. Nah, I'm not sad.
Disappointed.
It's almost like Jalil said. I'm pretty much for the same because y'all get it. Because y'all get it. They don't. So we, you know what I'm saying? It's so many of us. They know some things. They don't know enough.
Right.
They don't want to learn enough. They want to stay stuck in the rut they're in. Listen. Earlier, James said the temple was the problem, and then we established that the temple was not the problem. The problem is the people in it. These two, man. These two.
I wanted to tell you, the family was, in one of the videos, the Dirty Moors were saying that they're winning. They got the hearts and minds of the people coming into this, and we got to find, like they actually said it, that the other team is winning, and we need to come back because everyone coming into this, like the 40th slip was so obvious that they were envious of what was happening. Like it was really a military political strategy, like the hearts and minds of the people. But the new Moors coming into this are consciously of this, that they are coming to the side of Cause and others. So I think it was imperative to keep in mind that they're paying attention to other work people. Even you.
Me too, class. I ain't the student that run after school. Now what she said was important. And the reason it's important is this. How can I fight my brother, beat my brother down, and say I'm winning?
You're right.
How?
You can't.
Now, the people that's coming in, see our people like drama. Our people like that tug of war, that back and forth. Set right against Keystone. Stay right against the mother sitting right here. Leaf against Ursa. They like that. It's gonna be a debate. Leaf with man, she's an educated man, she teaching school. Ursa and I back there making all that raw foods, that's gonna be a good lecture. No, it's not. Because what's gonna happen is they're gonna sit there and they're gonna argue with each other, they're gonna try to humiliate each other, and you leave with what? Nothing. Fusion. You wanna see a fight, then let's go watch a fight. UFC, boxing, WWE, let's go watch a fight. If you wanna see a fight.
Basketball,
And see, what makes it even worse is these so-called scholars participating.
Right.
I ain't debating nobody, man. Say what you will.
It reminds me, like, everybody heard Willie Nixon. The Willie Nixon syndrome, but Dr. Francis Wilson said it best to me. She said it's social engineering.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And until we have to work with what we got and go from there. That's what I think. We go from there what we got. And you know what the community, and it's just let it fall where it may. But that's the key, is that social engineering and what we should see.
These monkeys that was put in a place, and the bananas were put on the top of the pole, and the monkeys would try to go up the pole to get to the bananas. Finally, one got to the bananas, but then they started like electric, electrified that one had a certain point. So after a while, the monkeys would go up and get electrocuted so they can stop. Then it was just one monkey out until the monkey came. And it got to a point that the monkeys would fight to get to the bananas. When they finally was electrocuted, the monkeys would actually fight to not let the one monkey that he wanted to go up there to try to get the bananas to the bananas. So it's sort of like that was going. Like how do we get the masses to be reprogrammed, to reprogram themselves?
The first thing that's got to happen is this: is those of us who say that we have the light, we got to start shining. Right?
Active.
Let me tell you one thing that's imperative. Right? You can't sit there. You can't read these law books. And you can't talk to me about you got your paperwork done, and you still saying that's the light. If your language has not been corrected,
You're not changing.
then listen. Something as simple as language,
Like the mountain.
because it's simple, but it ain't.
Yeah, exactly.
It's simple, but it ain't. If you can't correct your language, if you can't correct, now how you gonna be sitting out there? How you gonna
Can't navigate your thoughts.
listen? Y'all remember when I told y'all my heart was broke when I couldn't box him. But the day that I was navigating in the vehicle and it hit me, you wasn't supposed to be in that ring. You supposed to be in this one. All of them lessons that I learned then prepared me for this. All of them lessons prepared me for this. Now, my trainer used to always say to me, you practice, you're gonna fight how you practice. Right? So if I'm training, if I always got my left hand down here, when I fight, my left hand will always be down here because I have not trained to keep it here. If my right hand is not here to protect me from getting hit with that hook, I'm gonna keep on getting hit. Right? So if you do not practice, when it comes time to perform, you won't perform. Correct your language. Listen, that's the first, don't listen, forget tickets, forget all of that.
Yeah.
Correct your language. See if you can do that.
You
Check yourself. I tell you what you do. For anybody, I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand. For anybody who still says black and white, challenge yourself if you can. Take a job. Take the top off of it. Every time you say black and white, you take a single Federal Reserve note, put it in the jar. Challenge yourself. Bet you stop saying it in the truth. Listen, I'm serious. See, this is the thing, right? We don't challenge ourselves.
Right.
We just want what we want. We expect what we expect. Challenge yourself. If you still saying black and white, if you can. But if you still saying black, challenge, take the top off the jar, put a single Federal Reserve note in there every time you say black. See how much pain is being at the end of the day. Man, see, and the best part is this. You know what? Let me show you this. This is how I get you understand. I see you. This is how real this thing is. Right? This book right here. Right? For those of y'all who did not come and look, it has specific food that you eat. Now, guess what it says? Africans, Caucasians, Asian. It don't say black and white. That's how real it is, y'all. See, when that first eye starts to open up, Brandon, you see stuff like that immediately. You see it immediately. I saw it immediately. I didn't have to look in this book 20 times. I saw it immediately. It says African, Caucasian, Asian. Now, you get certain degrees and you know Asian and African. But the point that I'm making is it don't say black and white. That's the point that I'm making. No. Because when we use white, we ain't using white in that sense. We talking about white people. We talking about European people. You know what I'm saying? If you saying white people, talking about an Albion, that's what I'm talking about. If you're talking about your brothers and your sisters and you calling them black, I just had this thought. Just yesterday, right? Somebody calling me black, right? Like this microphone is black. I'm far from that. I'm far from that. And then thinking that black is an adjective. And an adjective is a word that describes something. Like this ain't black. This is a microphone. It's a black microphone. Microphone being a noun. A person, place, or a thing. It's a thing. It's a microphone. It's a noun. But the color of it is black. Black is the adjective. It describes the microphone. Now, I'm a man, but to say that I'm a black man is incorrect. Grammatically, it's incorrect. See how important words be? Then you got these few words right here. These few words right here, all tie into each other and all take you to the same place. I'll read these root causes somewhere, then we can wrap it up. I ain't want to bore y'all too much.
Excuse me? You've done everything but that.
This is out of civic lesson number 1. It's a book. It's over there somewhere. It's a book Taj did back in 1996. That's it right there. Civic lesson number 1. Got it, Sharif?
Yes.
Civic lesson number 1. Who are the Moorish Americans? Moorish defined. The preface. It says economic, social, and color of law abuses, human right violations, buried and false and void civil rights arguments of race fiction. We all know that it's only one race, the human race. Divided up into what? Nations. And what else?
Tribes.
That make up what? Merely scratch the surface of the deleterious issues plaguing the dark colored Asiatics of the Americas, particularly those who are labeled black, Negro, colored, etc. There is forced taxation without representation. Now, they put that on the license plates in Washington, D.C. Not forced, it just says taxation without representation. They slap you right in their face. License plate in Washington, D.C. Anytime you see any of the license plates right on the bottom, taxation without representation, that's slapping them right in their face. Like, y'all ain't got no representation, you still paying. Go find me a senator, a congressman, or alderman, or anybody else in Washington, D.C. Probably alderman, but not no senators and not no congressmen. That's not state, right?
It's a district.
But they still pay the same taxes they got everybody else paying. Taxation without representation. Now, when it comes to you, taxation without representation, you have no representation.
Not Negro, black, and colored.
Not Negro, black, and colored, not even as more. So you paying taxes to a corporation that does not represent you in no shape, form, or fashion. They know who you are, but they ain't going to, no, it's not going to never take, they're not going to take them back. No. What's up?
Go.
You gotta go?
Yeah, she said they're supposed to have this room at 4:30, 4 o'clock.
That's what somebody just came in and said?
Yeah.
What time?
It's almost 4:30.
All right.
They're
All right, cool.
4
I
o'clock.
didn't know. All right, cool, then we gotta wrap up. So, listen, take this paperwork, take it home, read it, research the information that's on this page. And, as always, I love you all, till next time, peace, love, and Islam.
Islam.